Greetings everyone, Tim Anderson here, aka Renfail, and welcome to my channel. Also welcome to the first episode in an ongoing series that I'm just going to call LOTRO Class Guides. I haven't done any guides for Lord of the Rings Online here on my YouTube channel before. This will be a first, but I have done guides for the game before. Way back in the day when I first got going as a writer, and this is a long time ago when the game first came out, there used to be a company called Killer Guides, and I did a Lore Master guide and a Minstrel guide for this game all the way back then. I also did some EverQuest 2 guides, and those guides provided me enough income to establish myself as a writer and get my career going. It actually provided me with a few $1,000s a month in commissions, which was great at the time because that allowed me to get going on other different projects and establish myself as a science fiction fantasy writer and beyond. Now I'm here in 2021 towards the end of the year, and I was like, I've got some free time. I love this game. I'm still playing it. I want to do some class guides, and I'm going to start with the class that I started playing for the very first time that I ever played this game, which is the Minstrel. Now this is a lower level Minstrel. This guy's level 45. This is the character that I played with my brother last year. We traditionally come into Lord of the Rings Online and play every winter together for 4 to 6 months, depending on work commitments and everything else. We are getting back around to the winter months again, so we might be coming back into LOTRO this year, although we might go back to Star Wars: Old Republic this year. We haven't decided yet. In any case, let's talk about the Minstrel. Now, before I do, I want to say one thing. Let me know in the comments below, and also like or dislike the video. Let me know what you think about this class guide, because this is the first time I've done this. I'm just kind of winging it. I don't really have a format or anything. I'm just going to talk about my opinions on the Minstrel, on the way that I look at the Minstrel being played. This is not going to be, a min-max version of the Minstrel or how to play a Minstrel on a raid or anything like that. I'm just going to give some class basics for people who might be coming into the game for the first time. And if you haven't already done so, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well so you get future updates for all the things that I do here on YouTube, which include Lord of the Rings stuff, including the LOTRO Cooking in Real Life series. This is actually the character that I use for that a lot of the times because this is my farmer and my cook. So I get a lot of the recipes by logging in, and I'll pick a recipe, and then my wife and I will go into the kitchen, and we will prepare that, and then put it up here on YouTube. But I also do book reviews, the Mondays in MMORPG series, Monday Musings, other games I'll stream from time to time, RPGs and stuff. So check out all the things here on YouTube, and let me know what you think in particular about this video in the comments below to let me know if there's anything I could change in the format, or if there's anything that you think might be useful to add in future videos, because I'm going to be going through, probably doing like one a week or something. We'll see. Anyway, let's talk about the Minstrel today. So, one of the first things about the Minstrel that you need to know is that when the game first launched, the Minstrel was a healing class, bar none. That was it. That's what you did. You were a healer. Now, over the years, they've done a lot of different changes to the game, including adding skill trees, or trait trees as they call them in this game, which allow you to further flesh out your character. But one of the first things you're going to notice here is that you have 3 stances for your character, and I'll let you pause the video and read through these if you would like to. But basically, you have a DPS stance called a dissonance stance, which makes all of your heals self-only. Then you have a balance stance called melody. And then you have your heal stance, which is for healing. Now, if you watch the icon bars here down here, if you watch this, the hot bars, you'll notice that when I change stances, some of those icons change. And the reason is because some of your abilities are skill specific and stance specific. And so those abilities will change slightly when you change the stance. Now, here's how I use my stances. If I am soloing, then I will almost always be in dissonance stance. The exception being if I'm going to be AoE mobs. Because when you're in the melody stance, there's a couple of things that happen. One is that the hero's strike ends up having a heal on top of it. And then this AoE, the Coda of Melody, also has an additional heal. So this is a great way to not necessarily need to heal yourself with heals, but instead focus on DPSing the mobs, and this single attack will give you a heal, and this AoE attack will give you a heal also. And I find that when you're in the middle of heavy AoE scenarios where you're fighting 5, 6, 7 mobs, and you can keep that AoE going in between your single strike, you'll keep yourself healed up without needing to actually use any of your heal abilities. I almost never use Resonance stance, which is the heal stance, unless I'm playing in a full group with other people, and that doesn't happen very often because this character in particular I play with my brother exclusively. Um, Now, occasionally, like I said, I might run around and do some stuff for farming and harvesting and the like, in which case I'll be in this stance. But for the most part, this character stays in melee stance when I'm playing with my brother because I can do some decent DPS, plus I get the AoE heals for our group. It's a really great way to run around and do things. Now, the other caveat to the Minstrel is that you obviously also have your gotta remember which button it is. You also have your skill trees. Now I am in the Warrior Skull tree line, which is the DPS line, but we'll go ahead and show you these real quick so you understand how these specs work as well. So when you first start the game, you'll have to pick one of these as you get going as a minstrel, and this is going to depend entirely on how you want to play. Now you can have two stances for free. You can unlock a third with mithril coins. Um, I don't bother having a second one because again, I only play this character with my brother and sometimes a couple of our friends. So I don't really worry about anything other than having the warrior skulled stance. So obviously, there's your heal stance, not stance, excuse me, your heal line, which just as much as the heal stance gives you buffs to your heals and bonuses, this will give you additional bonuses to your healing abilities. So for example, the description tells you exactly here. These are powerful healers offering buffs to healing potency and frequency. These minstrels heal the morale of the fellowship and themselves. So you get a whole bunch of healing stuff. Then over here you have the protector of song, which is more about buffs. There are some healing bonuses as well, but this is a lot of basically this gives you utility for this would be if you want to play utility minstrel. I like to call them bards, by the way. I still love calling them bards, but that's the tabletop player in me. But if you want to be a utility bard, this is the one to choose from. You can still get some heal bonuses, but a lot of it's about the utility and buffs. And then, of course, if you're going to be playing solo or if you're going to be playing with one or two other people, I would highly recommend picking the Warrior Scald one just for the added bonus that you get to DPS. But it also depends on if you're playing with a couple other people and what those other people play as a class, because that does somewhat determine how you're going to spec in your trait lines. Now, I would not recommend doing the Watcher of Resolve unless you know for a fact that you're going to have a static group and or you know, you're going to be in a raid guild or something like that where you're always going to be grouped and your only responsibility is to be a healer for the group. If that's the case, then you'll want to go with the heal line. Otherwise, pick one of these two that work for you and go from there. Anyway, hopefully that gives you a little bit of a breakdown on the Minstrel class for Lord of the Rings Online. Again, this was a quickie video for me. If you have comments and ideas on things I could do to maybe improve the series, let me know. This is the first episode in the series. I'm just doing this sort of to go out there and talk about some of my favorite classes in the game. I'm not showing any combat with this one because why? I could just talk about it and show you guys and listen to some cool music. Show you our kin house here in the Shire with beautiful views, and happen to be raining today, which is beautiful, and you get good music and everything else. So why not? Anyway, everybody, hope you enjoyed. I will be doing all of the classes at some point, I think. I don't know how frequently we'll do these, maybe once a week or so. I'll be going through the classes that I play the most first, and then working on the ones that I haven't played in a long time, or maybe have never played. Like I've never done a Bjorn. So I might do that one of these days. But I also have I've got everything, I think, except for the Bjorn. So we'll talk about all of these at some point. But the two that I play the most are the Minstrel, the Lore Master, the Hunter, or the Ranger, and what do you want to call it, and a Guardian, which I love, and also a Champion. I've played a lot of the Champion as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this Minstrel guide for Lord of the Rings Online. Hopefully it can give you a little bit of some insight into what the LOTRO Minstrel is and whether or not you think it might be for you. It is a fun class. You get instruments. There's lots of different instruments that you can choose from, lots of different cool abilities that you get, and it is a great solo class as well as a group class, especially since they added these stances in years ago. Being able to go into this DPS stance, I slaughter mobs. It's quite ridiculous, actually, the amount of DPS you can do with the Minstrel compared to what they used to be, because they used to be the worst DPS and only heal. So, anyway, Let me know if you enjoy, like the video, or dislike the video. What do you want to do? Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get future updates. And of course, don't forget to check the links below if you want to join us over in Discord and hang out with us there. And check out the LOTRO Cooking in Real Life playlist here on YouTube, where my wife and I take recipes from the Lord of the Rings Online and cook them in our kitchen and present them to you. We have some new episodes coming out this month, so stick around, stay tuned. See you next time.